Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we will explore and compare the character traits of the overt and covert narcissists. By understanding their character traits, we can better recognize and protect ourselves from these toxic individuals. So, let's get started. When we think of the narcissistic personality, what normally comes to our mind is, typically, the flamboyant, bold, confident, all eyes on me individual in the room dominating the conversation and basking in the limelight, but there is another less obvious type, the covert narcissist. Compared to the overt narcissist, the covert narcissist lacks the brash confidence to seek public attention and perform for the crowd, preferring to stay on the sidelines where they feel less exposed to possible criticism and humiliation. But although the covert narcissist is harder to spot in a crowd, they are just as selfish, entitled, and manipulative as the overt variety. Whether bold bullies or shrinking violets, narcissists have well-honed survival skills that depend on controlling and exploiting others. Both the overt and covert narcissist lacks empathy and has delusions of grandeur that scaffold a gaping sense of worthlessness. Both compulsively manipulate and denigrate others. And both types use denial, blame, guilt, gaslighting, and other manipulations to serve their need to control the narrative and feel superior. They often exhibit blatant disregard for other people's boundaries, feel jealous and resentful when someone else is in the spotlight, and have unrealistic expectations for how their needs should be met. At the same time, they crave validation from others and will seek it out wherever they can find it. So if you suspect you have a narcissist in your circle, or might be in a one-sided relationship with one, whether or not the dynamic feels toxic, hang in there as we delve deeper into these traits and explore how they manifest in both overt and covert narcissists. Let's begin with the blatant overt narc. With an overt narcissist, what you see is pretty much what you get. Yes, that's correct. You can see these folks coming from a mile away. Overt narcissists are often extroverted and have a bold, confident, and assertive demeanor. They have an exaggerated sense of self-importance and are often preoccupied with their public image and persona. They are attention-seeking and crave admiration from others, often bragging about their accomplishments, putting others down, and flaunting their connections and material possessions. Despite their negative traits, they can also come across as charming and likable, as they have an excessive need for admiration and validation from others. Overt narcissists have a strong sense of entitlement and a competitive nature that can manifest in harmful behaviors such as demeaning, bullying, and belittling others. They may engage in persistent lying to benefit themselves and have an egotistical view of their own self-worth. They prioritize their own needs over others and have little regard for how their actions affect those around them. Winning is important to them, even if it means hurting others in the process. Overt narcissists can derive pleasure from making others feel bad or unworthy, and they often prioritize winning arguments and debates to maintain their sense of superiority. They have a my way or the highway attitude and demand admiration and agreement from others, reacting with impatience or rage if they don't receive it. Their criticism and sarcasm is razor-sharp, targeted to wreak maximum damage on their victim. They will stop at nothing to dominate and isolate their victim, using tactics such as smear campaigns or orchestrating public episodes of reactive abuse to destroy their reputation. The fury they unleash on their target is visceral and terrifying. They will stop at nothing, screaming, verbal abuse, physical abuse, insults, threats, or accusations. The aim is to intimidate the victim, who will think twice about contradicting or standing up to them ever again. These toxic individuals aim their anger at whoever undermines their carefully crafted ego. Their attacks can be emotionally, psychologically, or even physically damaging. These egomaniacs have God complex. Yes, narcissists play God. They play God the way Satan plays God. And in their self-centered universe, humans do not have free will. The overt narcissist charges through life as though everything they embody, from their ideas to their problems, is a higher priority than yours. Your life just isn't as relevant or interesting to them, and you'll know this by how they constantly steer the conversation right back to their own narratives. These cocky individuals contemptuously violate your boundaries. They treasure their own boundaries, and will quickly resort to emotional violence to defend theirs. The issue here really isn't about boundaries. It's about aggression, rebellion, degradation, violence, defilement, irreverence. These narcissists come to take what is yours forcibly or by deception. Their unspoken philosophy in life is warfare. Peace, respect, getting along, joy, contentment, love are out of the question. Take what is yours, protect what is theirs. That's the narcissist's credos. And there you have it, the overt narcissist, cut and dried. The demonic underpinnings of both overt and covert narcissists are quite similar. It is only the façade and their modus operandi that distinguishes them. The overt narc has no façade really. The overt is the in-your-face narcissist. The covert has a fake persona and tends to hide behind a shy, meek demeanor. However, depending on the situation, they undoubtedly flip roles between covert and overt personalities. Now let's unbox the covert narcissist personality type. The concept of covert narcissism, or also known as the closet or vulnerable narcissism, is a fairly recent one. The covert narcissists are generally anxious, socially uncertain, sullen, and withdrawn, yet, in actual fact, they share the same grandiose and unempathetic traits as their exhibitionist overt counterparts. That's right, these folks are just as equally skilled in the dark arts of manipulation as overt narcissists, although, they tend to hide their true intentions with more finesse, making them even more dangerous. Now, covert narcissists are slippery characters and like to believe that their superior intellect sets them one step ahead of the others. Because of their meek demeanor, they are difficult to spot, and just like any ill-intentioned person, when the spotlight isn't on them, they can really wreak havoc and go to town. Another rationality as to why the covert narcissist is so dangerous is because they take deviousness to a whole new level. Compared to typical textbook narcissists, the coverts are even scarier because they have even less empathy, feel more entitled, and are even more passive-aggressive. Coverts make the typical narcs look harmless, which truly does take some doing. The truth is they are capable of absolutely anything, plus they have no regard for anyone's mental health, making them a completely toxic combination of pent-up insidiousness. The covert narcissist generally poses as a good and kind person just trying to help others. But beware. It's an act. This individual is usually covertly aggressive and uses calculated, underhanded means to get what they want or to manipulate the responses of others while keeping their aggressive intentions concealed. Covert narcissists can be under the radar and hard to detect because they are masters at concealing their malevolent and dark traits. The covert narcissist is an expert at presenting himself as charming, giving, kind, genuine, empathetic, quiet, shy, loving, and humble. They thrive on pretending to be something they are not, but by all accounts, they are controlling, manipulative, expert liars, sly, and dangerous. They are troublemakers who initiate chaos and confusion behind the scenes. They are indeed wolves in sheep's clothing, and it is unlikely that you would recognize these individuals if you had never encountered one before, or if you were not knowledgeable about the signs of narcissism. It is exceedingly difficult to discern the true nature of this person as a predator, particularly if you have been love-bombed or if they have a cover of being an avid churchgoer, physician, or spiritual healer. They may appear to be humble, especially in private, where they will impress you with a modest façade in the beginning. They will have a poor me narrative to target empathic people, and certainly, they are attracted to empaths. However, this is an ingeniously executed demonstration that is part of their plan to reel you in and fall for them as it elicits your willingness to help. That is why empaths and other kind people are often taken in by this personality disordered person. These types of toxic individuals project a calm and patient mirror to the outside world, but on the inside, they are as profoundly selfish and just as angry as their overt counterparts. They just hide their agendas. Covert narcissists can be very sensitive to criticism or perceived slights, even if they are minor or unintended. They get what they need out of life by creating a false self. This facade gets them the supply they want, as well as money, respect, or sex. We want to believe that their kindness and empathy are real, but they are supreme con artists and thrive on being able to fool and deceive others. They cannot get what they want if everyone knows who they really are. The covert narcissist is always plotting and scheming to control, manipulate, and eventually bring you down emotionally, financially, physically, psychologically, and spiritually. They are always hiding behind their Dr. Jekyll mask in public. However, the victim gets to be with Mr. Hyde behind closed doors. And, as we all know, Mr. Hyde is a monster. Many describe them as soul killers, but at the very least they are soul crushers. Covert narcissists are so secretive and cunning that the victim can remain unaware and confused about what has happened to them for years. These toxic personalities don't experience a guilty conscience. They believe they are entitled to lie. It's the only way they know how to operate in a world of me against you. Narcissists genuinely believe everyone thinks and feels the way they do. They are expert at projecting their flaws and mistakes onto the person who loves them. They claim to be perpetual victims and sow seeds of doubt in people they claim to love. Often, the survivors have no choice but to acquiesce to their partners or to fight them, and neither is a good option. The covert narcs pride themselves on being highly secretive. They like to contemplate sitting in their cave for long periods, just honing their skill. But the stronger you become and the firmer boundaries you set, the harder it is for them to control or manipulate you, particularly when you unmask them. Once unmasked, they no longer need you to get the attention or the supply they crave. The phrase supply is used in the psychological literature on narcissism to refer to the attention, affection, and praise, or any negative attention that a person from the dark triad needs in order to function. Once unmasked, this toxic person becomes extremely arrogant, and the victim or survivor will see more of the covert traits. When their mask cracks, they will often release their rage. Their behavior becomes cruel, sadistic, and aggressive. This can possibly be avoided if you go no contact as soon as possible. If you are living with them, it is best to move out as quickly as it is safe to do so or to seek protection. When you have been abused by a covert narcissist, you start to see the predictability in their patterns, the passive-aggressive put-downs, gaslighting, sabotage, undermining, future faking, triangulation, weaponized incompetence, silent treatment, and more. Yes, it's insidious, and it'll make you think you're in the twilight zone. Now that you have a better idea of how to spot a narcissist, it is essential to keep in mind that narcissists do not play nice or fair, and they are loyal to no one and nothing but their own agenda. It's essential to prioritize one's own safety and well-being when dealing with individuals who exhibit narcissistic behavior. This can involve setting clear and firm boundaries, being mindful of their behavior and any warning signs, and seeking support from trusted friends, family members, or mental health professionals. It's also important to avoid engaging in power struggles or attempting to change the narcissist's behavior, as this can often lead to further manipulation and abuse. Instead, focusing on one's own self-care and seeking help and support can be more productive and empowering. In my forthcoming video, I'll add a list of reasons as to why you should be ultra wary of these abusers, by revealing who they prey upon. One thing that can be said about narcissists is that they certainly are not predictable people. Plus, a spoiler alert, they don't necessarily always choose to emotionally abuse seemingly weak people. No, in fact, they often choose bigger fish to fry because they love a challenge. I trust that the video provided you with valuable information. I thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe for more such informative content. Hit the bell icon and be sure to see my next video to learn about the personalities types narcissists target and why. Let us help spread the awareness and lead healthier and fulfilling lives.